Two of the most challenging nominees for Donald Trump look like they're going to make their way through. Tulsi Gabbard today, a little bit later this morning. Tulsi Gabbard should get a vote. And then Robert F. Kennedy Jr. should also get a vote. He was advanced out of the Senate Finance Committee without a single Democrat vote. Doesn't need it. Not even Bernie Sanders, who publicly claims to fight Big Pharma, would stand with Bobby Kennedy. Of course not, because nobody gets more money from Big Pharma than Bernie. Those are some of the headlines today. Peter Gillooly, CEO of the wellness company, joining me now to discuss RFK Jr. and more. Peter, nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me back, Steve.
This is a big deal. Look, the wellness company takes your wellness seriously, but they do it on the front side. Let's keep people healthy before they need, intervention on the backside when they're sick. And that's what Robert F. Kennedy's talking about, whether it's something in your food, something in your pharmaceuticals, whatever it may be. I think he's going to be confirmed. What do you make of that?
I think it's amazing how quickly the Democratic Party eats their own, Steve. Remember, Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. were former Democrats who were heralded by the Democratic Party as heroes. And now they're being eaten alive by the party that they used to support. And I think that just goes to show you that Big Pharma's roots run deep. The special interests that run the Democratic Party will do anything to defend themselves and resist being held accountable, which is really what Tulsi and RFK are all about. It's exposing the corruption that's been swindling the American taxpayer out of millions and millions of dollars every single month and return power and health back to the people where it actually belongs.
Yeah, one of the things I take from the wellness company every day, I took it this morning, is the spike supplement, right? Spike protein supplement. So if you've had COVID or you had the injection and you want to, mitigate any issues you might have with that, I take that every day. And I say that for the background on this. USAID, which has been in the news for the last week or two now because of all the crazy spending, we now know that we can track money from this country, my tax dollars and your tax dollars, all the way back to Wuhan. Just like Senator Rand Paul said before, USAID funding the Wuhan lab, which gave us COVID in the first place. Are you surprised by this or just disappointed in our government?
I'm disappointed at this point, Steve, and I'm disappointed at the cover-ups that we've had to endure for the past 5 years. How many times were people like you and I called crazy, Steve, back in the beginning when we were asking common sense questions about what the real origins of this virus was? I don't think anyone actually believed it was from a bat bite or whatever they claimed at the beginning. And finally, the CIA and actually from this lab in Wuhan. It's like, hello. Read the billboard, people. We all knew that for years. And not only that, Steve, we've seen the same thing with H5N1 bird flu. USDA has been sponsoring gain-of-function research here at home, Madison, Wisconsin, to enable these viruses to be studied in the name of public safety, yet we see them circulating in our cattle and poultry around the country. USAID is a giant money laundering scheme. We all know that, Steve, now, and it needs to be shut down in the name of public good.
Yeah, and sadly, USAID is going to be small compared to some of the fraud that we're going to find in other departments of the government, and that's why I can't even understand why some on the left are kicking and screaming and yelling about us finding out the truth about how our tax dollars are spent. Look, I don't know how many billions or trillions of dollars were burned up because of COVID, but finally, we're going to get some answers. Are you hopeful that we'll finally get some final answers about where it came from, what was responsible, who was behind it?
I hope we get some closure, Steve, and some explanations that are officially put in the books. I think what we really want is justice, right? And I think that's going to take time. Like we saw the tobacco companies be finally held accountable for their lies over decades and decades. I don't know a timeline, Steve, that's going to happen on. I'm really hoping that Donald Trump and RFK, once he's confirmed, will hold those accountable, especially the pharmaceutical companies who intentionally withheld data about the safety of these vaccines, which people were coerced and tricked into taking. I think if we had the real data on day one, nobody would have taken these things. Yet we were basically told if you were working for an employer with over 100 people, that these things would be safe and effective and everybody should be taking it for the public good. I hope we never go back to that state again. And I hope that we actually look back on this and say that was a violation of human rights, and we hold either Fauci, who got his little Biden pardon a couple of weeks ago, or the pharmaceutical companies accountable for their actions.
Here's the problem, Peter, and I think this is really, truly part of it. The damage that was done to the trust between the American people and the health professionals or alleged health professionals in the government, I don't know that it ever could be corrected, even if Donald Trump put forth the best of the best, which he'll do. And they come out and say, well, we need to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, the damage is so deep, isn't it?
You're absolutely right, Steve. And I think after COVID, people have really taken a hard look at their own general practitioner, maybe that sleepy doctor that they visited for the past 20 years, and really asked, is this person really having my best health interests in mind? Or are they just puppeteers by the government, and are they just a mouthpiece for whatever the FDA or CDC is saying? And I think that's really opened up a lot of people's eyes to alternative forms of medicine.
I completely agree with you. Now, look, I trust the wellness company, and the wellness company's there 24/7. They've got emergency kits for you. They've got a great spike protein formula for you, which is the best, by the way. Real quickly, tell the people about the spike formula protein.
It was formulated by Dr. Peter McCullough, a friend of the show. He's treated thousands of people that have suffered from long COVID and vaccine injury syndromes. He developed Ultimate Spike Detox to help clear spike proteins from the body, which is really the cause of these syndromes that people are experiencing, the brain fog, loss of taste, lethargy, these symptoms that people have sometimes normalized, Steve, after receiving a vaccine or a particularly nasty bout of COVID over the past few years. We've seen really, really amazing results after people have been taking the product for 6 to 12 months. And, frankly, we hope that anybody who has taken a vaccine goes on a course of Ultimate Spike Detox. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
That's right.
Considering that we're still seeing the shot effects happen years after the injections.
You can find out more right now, by the way. TWC, that's the wellness company, twc.health/Gruber. Anything you find on there, you'll save 10%. You can get a subscription so you can save money on your prescriptions and everything else. It's about keeping you healthy before you need intervention, but they've got that too. twc.health/Gruber. Go there today, find out more, save 10%. Peter Gillooly, thank you as always, my friend.
Thank you, Steve.
There you have it. All right. The Wellness Company, my partner in good health, should be yours too. I'll be right back.